Hello there. Not only would this hurt consumers, it would end any remaining chances of the Tories winning the next general election. Inflation is far too high already, and the Bank of England cannot seem to keep the lid on it. But now we hear from Citigroup that the energy price cap for consumers will hit nearly £6,000 by April next year, due to Russia upping the stakes by throttling gas supplies back more, with inflation set to hit an eye-watering 18.6% by January. And if strikes and wage demands hit us and employers are forced to up wages by huge amounts, interest rates will have to go up to 7%, says Citigroup. Citigroup also expects the old measure of inflation, the Retail Prices Index or RPI, to hit 21.4% in January. And sadly, strike actions are beginning to mount, with barristers set to go on indefinite strike, and 1,900 workers at Felixstowe Port are also going on strike for 8 days, something that will severely disrupt our supply chains. Felixstowe is our largest and busiest container port and is one of the biggest in Europe. It handles nearly half our container traffic from 2,000 vessels every year, handling such things as toys, computers, furniture and automotive parts. Citigroup also says that inflation will probably not drop to the 2% level until the middle of 2024. And also that whatever the two Tory leadership hopefuls have planned will not touch the sides as it's swallowed up. Now, reality check. These are experts at Citigroup telling us their assessment, and experts aren't always right. In fact, when assessing the doom and gloom, they seem to overplay the initial impact, but then underplay how long it's going to take to get anywhere near normal, and as with the pandemic, totally ignore and discount any long-term societal and health impact that any of this will have on the elderly, the young and the vulnerable. And it's that type of problem that persists for decades, and it's those sorts of problems that will cost society a lot of long-term money as well. And be in no doubt, the only thing the government will be focused on is driving the economy to net zero, claiming it will create all those jobs and all that prosperity, just like they always say. Millions, maybe tens of millions in the UK alone are facing an extremely grim future, a future some of them may sadly not want to face, if you get my drift. But those with the mansions and the ability to soak up energy costs of 5 to 10 times higher than normal will sail through it with just the odd moan about, "Only 3 holidays abroad this year, dear." Anyway, anyone who wants to be the new Prime Minister right now, not just Rishi or Liz, no, anyone who wants the keys to number 10 today must be a dangerous, clinically certifiable lunatic and need carting off in a straitjacket, toot sweet. And how many ordinary people will start looking back over the last few decades and ask why a succession of MPs, governments and prime ministers sat there taking the easy, cheap way out of everything and not investing properly in such things as water, energy and food security. For example, the last new reservoir we had was in 1991. That's 31 years ago. And in 1991, the UK population was 57 million. It's now 10 million more at 67 million. But building a new reservoir would take lots of planet-destroying energy and presumably use up loads of green space, as well as upset the NIMBYs. So that's a no-go then. But if you want to build HS2... Anyway, just about every politician that sat in Westminster for the last 30 to 40 years has failed us with their short-range electioneering vision. They've spent your money, racked up a humongous national debt, and turned the UK into the world's free cash point. But the same parties and most of those MPs will still be there after the next election, and people will once again wonder why nothing's changed. You get what you vote for. At some stage within the next decade or so, the UK, or what's left of it, will need to be rebuilt from the foundations up. And be warned, the socialist will be there waiting with their vision of a totalitarian Marxist-controlled utopia.